I've been in the medical field for a long time, a long time. I got into it through schooling when I decided to go to school for medical billing and coding. In that time era, that's when we was having the quote unquote 2008, like the reception. I mean, I said reception, recession. And I wanted to do something that was going to open doors for me. And at that time, I felt like the medical field was booming, and I was going to be able to have a consistency in job in there because everywhere I would turn, places were laying off. It wasn't consistency in hours, and you just weren't getting paid or hours that you needed to just do basic and survive. And so I went to school. I was going to initially do medical assistant. And you get in there, you start doing the math, you start calculating, but I'm just gonna be 100 with y'all. I don't like needles, I don't like blood draws, a phlebotomy. I don't like all that. That's not for me. I hate when they have to do the blood draws and have to do all that. I don't like all that. I'd be like, I gotta turn away. That's not for me. So if I don't like doing that on me, I sure don't like doing that on somebody else. I don't want to do all that. So that was going to take me 15 months to complete. I decided to change once I found out about the administrative part, the scheduling, the billing and coding. I was like, oh, I think I like that better. And I was in the process of, I had the opportunity, you can switch because you're doing the basic program, but you had an opportunity where you could switch. And so I decided to switch to billing and coding. And I enjoyed that so much better. They gave you the programs and they taught you how to be in in the office and what tools you're going to be doing. You actually get the education. So that's why I'm such an advocate for technical vocational certifications, because you really do get the hands-on training, which is so much more important, more than I think sometimes in the basics of college. You don't get as deep, but in that time period you got the hands-on training. So I finally finished it. That took 11 months to finish. I also got to do like an externship where I got to go to a work site and actually do the coding and do the work. Of course, you get the diploma and you could take the coding certification. Me personally, I did coding and I wasn't too bad at it, but with time you get better. But I didn't feel like it was something that I wanted to do on a consistent. But trust me, coders make money. They was making money back then. And that would have been a lot of money from the region that I came from, just what I could have made. But I didn't find it fulfilling and everything. So my first thing, I did volunteer work. I did anything I could to build my professional resume. Because mind you, I came from retail and the food, retail in like shopping malls and everything. So to transition from that and to go all the way into the medical field, that was a huge professional transition. So that's why I know y'all can do it if y'all want to transition. And so I started doing that. The jobs wasn't coming in because even though a lot of the time you go to school from that, you have to have experience. They people talk about, oh, we'll hire. No, they want you to have experience. And sometimes people don't always want to take the time to train you because every job is still going to be different. They're still going to have to train you. But putting myself out there and building my resume and making sure that I was elevating and just building that resume, getting that experience. I finally obtained a position, but it was 45 minutes away. And I was making $7.75. It was 45 minutes away, 40 hours a week, but I was only making $7.75. That was my first offer as a professional. And it was 45 minutes away from where I lived. I took it because I wanted the experience. And I was trusting that that would open the door to something closer. So I did it. I did it and drove. I would get up 2 to 3 hours early just to make sure I was on time, getting ready, driving in traffic for 45 minutes and just making sure I made it there. I did it for 2 months and then I was like, man, this is not helping me. This is draining me, taking more time, out from my regular bills that I had. Because at that time, I was living on my own by then. And I was paying my bills and it wasn't that much expensive, but looking back, the income that I was making, it wasn't able to cover that. It was hard. But I wanted to gain that experience because I was trusting God something was going to open. After 2 months, I had to put in my resignation. I had to say, I can't accept this because, continue to work this and travel here because I don't even have gas and stuff to pay my bills. I accepted it for the experience, but that's what I was trusting. And right after I accepted it, I got an interview offer at a big time company hospital, and it was for payment poster billing and coding. And I took it. As I took the interview, I interviewed, I didn't get that one. And then they offered me a temporary position. The temporary position, of course, was only for like 6 months. I took it because it was right in my hometown. It was only 10 to 15 minutes away from me versus 45 minutes a day driving there, which actually took me longer than that depending on traffic. So I got that, and then eventually I got on permanent, and I worked that job in that position. I transitioned for 7 years, and then they laid off a lot of people in that company, and I still kept going. And as I went to another place and got a job, my pay went up. I'm just counting, y'all. $6 an hour. At that time, it went up $6 an hour, and that was a big jump from when I started out at that job. I was doing like 1102. I started off at 1102, and I'm just giving y'all that because you're going to just see the increase of where I am. And so, as I did that over the years, I've seen my salary just go up and up and up. I've seen myself get in positions that I did not know. And I remember because of the experience in 2020 on Indeed, they found me on Indeed with my resume. And COVID was happening. We was in lockdown. A company reached out to me and they offered me a position. And I did the interview. And then they offered me the position. They was like, we seen your resume. I interviewed for it. And it was a remote position. And I went ahead and took it. I was like, oh my God, this is my first remote position. And I was still planning to move to California, but everything was going on and it was happening. And so I took the position. And once I got settled in, I was like, you know what? I can set the date. I can set the date. I can move. I can move. I can move. And I went ahead and set the date. And from the date that I set, January 29th, 2021, I moved. And because after that contract position, the contract was only supposed to be for like 9 to 11 months. I didn't know if I was going to even find a job here that soon. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust God. I'm going to find a job. I'm going to work this remotely, and that's going to pay my bills, and I'm going to find a job there. And they actually decided to extend it, the contract out for the position. And then a month later, they came back and told us and said, no, you're not needed anymore. And they were ending the contract. Right after I got that one, like 3 weeks later, I got an interview at a company to be a temp position. And I took it because it just flowed me into it. I ended up getting that. And then I did that for 6 months. And then I got my permanent position. And I've been in this position for almost 5 years. No, 4 years. Sorry, not 5 years, 4 years. And I've seen my increase go up. I've seen my education get increased, me taking certifications, I've got position in leadership roles. And all I did was trust God that I can do it. I moved, I changed regions, positions. I'm telling you, God has been taking care of me and he continues to increase. But I remember that girl that wanted to just get a permanent position and find a job. And I started out at $7.75. That was that job. And then I taken away from it, I think they was like maybe $8 they added after a certain period of time. Y'all, I'm so thankful. So I am a walking testimony to tell you that you can do it. You can transition, you can move, you can go up, you can elevate, you can trust God, and it will happen because he just keeps increasing me in all areas of my life. And I'm going to keep going and keep going. So I just wanted to encourage y'all. I know that was long, but if I can do it and I'm a walking testimony of it, so can you. Trust the process. Do what you got to do and know that God got your back. It's up to you.